Okay, welcome. This is a short tutorial on basically how to use Microsoft Project to do the earned value management thing. Now, admittedly, this is a little complex. There's some steps you have to perform, and you have to perform in precisely the correct order in order for this to work well. So pay attention to the details. So I'm going to pick, how about this simple project plan? And so that's fine. So here's just a dummy project for me to play with. And so in order for this to work, I need to assign resources, define a set of resources that I'm going to attach to this project. And that'll tell me how much it's going to cost, and it'll also tell me how many hours it's going to take to do the job. So let's start with that. So step one is basically going to go over here, and I'm going to create a new resource sheet. So my resource sheet, and this could be like types of people. I'm going to make this up because it doesn't really matter what it is. I'm going to say I'm going to have a web developer. And so this is work, and let's say that they get paid, I don't know, I'm going to be generous here. Let's say they get paid $20 an hour. Cool. And then how about a database admin? And they have work, but they're going to be paid $60 an hour. And how about let's do some material in here. How about we're going to buy a server. So I'm just going to put a server here. The server is not work; it's considered material, and so it's not per hour. It's just a flat rate, and we're going to spend I don't know $10,000 on a server. Okay, so now I have basically some resources that I can apply. Cool. All right. So that's step one is to produce a resource sheet. I'm going to go back to my Gantt chart now. And I'm going to start assigning resources to this. One way to do that is to just, bring up the properties, right, on a particular task. And one of the things they have resources of. So task one, let's say for example that this is going to require 100% of the database administrator and 100% of the web developer. Okay, I'm making this up because I don't really know. That part's not all that relevant. So task number two, let's say task number two is going to take, I don't know, database developer, but maybe they're not working only 90% of the time. This percentage here is kind of weird. If working 100% means that 100% of their productive time for the day is working on this project and this project alone. So no phone calls from, while you're working for client A, you don't get a phone call from client B that says, could you work on this for a minute? Yeah, okay. So maybe 100% isn't the correct answer every single time. So let's do a web developer and let's leave them at 100. So I'm going to skip some stuff and go down here to task 3. Let's say a task 3 is where I have to buy the server. So here's another way you can do this. You should just go in here and just click on it. Now the only problem here is when you do that, it automatically assumes that we're talking about 100% of the needs. So now I've produced some costs. So cool. All right. So I'm going to go back to this tables thing. All right. So one of the tables is the cost table, which now should have some information. Here's my total cost. Okay. Now, admittedly, I didn't fill out all the information, but here's one of the steps you have to do in order to get EVM to work. I need to copy my cost column into my baseline column. So I'm just going to grab this, and I'm going to use the keyboard, Control-C, go over here and do Control-V or paste. Ding! Now the two are the same. Okay? So I've told it, here's my total cost, and I've made that the baseline. Let's go to the work table and do the same thing. Here's the amount of work that's required. I'm going to copy and put that into the baseline. Ding! So now my baseline for work and for cost has been populated. Now that I have that part done, now I can go over here and set my baseline. And I'm just going to, just let it do its thing. Okay, cool. So now just to recap, I did a resource sheet. I assigned the resources. I went into the work table and I copied and pasted. I went into the cost table and copied and pasted. Then I did the set baseline. If you did not do those in the correct order, it is not going to work. Okay. So let's go back to the project here, and I'm going to turn this into like a tracking jant, and so I'm going to make some changes. So I don't know. Let's just mess with it a little bit. So I'm going to say, oops, this task is going to need to go stretch out to 4 days. Okay, something. I just wanted to change something in here to show that something has occurred. Okay, cool. Let's throw in some percents of completions. So this one, let's say, I don't know, I'm 50% complete here, and I'm 75% complete here, and here I'm 0% complete here. Okay, I just threw in some stuff to so have a meaningful kind of review. All right, I'm gonna go to report now, and one of the things they have into the cost report is the earned value report. And so my earned value report basically shows me how much money I'm spending. Of course, in this case, I didn't do all the things that was supposed to be done. I don't really have enough changes to make this thing make sense. But if you had lots of changes, this thing would have populated a little better. Okay, so that's it. You have to follow the steps in the right order. You have to copy your cost over. You have to copy your work over. You have to set the baseline. Go in there. In this case, I tweaked it a little bit to have a report that meant something. And then produce the earned value chart. Okay, that's all there is. See you guys again in some future video.